Hello, and welcome to U-Talk. It's a program dedicated to diversity, highlighting native-born and new Canadians' cultures and experiences. Science is a miraculous tool helping us understand the cosmos, the history of our planet, and the marvels of medical accomplishments. For those who enter the field of STEM, many are driven to figure out the puzzles of our universe. Lambert Wilson is a research and teaching assistant at the University of Winnipeg and has studied in Ghana, Italy, and Canada. He is a strong professional with a master's degree focused on molecular diagnostics and biotechnology.
I'm still going to put more effort in it. Then I went to his hospital to visit her, and I saw how people were suffering and stuff. I was like, okay, what can I do to help? Right? Because that is my source of motivation. When I see people happy, when I see smiles on people's face, and what I could do is to help them, or the best that can come from me. That is how I also become happy. So when I see the smile on their faces, it makes me happy. So I didn't want to be a doctor because I thought I'm not going to have so much time to have fun. Yeah, so I was looking for an alternative. So that was when I got into medical laboratory sciences. So that is getting in touch with the clients or the person who is not feeling well. Then you get their samples being taken, whether blood or urine or their body fluids. That's so you help them diagnose whatever is wrong with the person. So I found out that was very interesting for me, because if you come to me and you don't know what is wrong with you, and I'm able to tell you, okay, you have COVID or you have this, then I feel happy because now we know the cause and we're going to find a solution to the cause, you know? Yeah. That was what made me got into the health sciences.
Mm-hmm. So how has your experience been studying here in Canada? I mean, you've studied in Ghana, based on your LinkedIn profile, you studied in Italy. I guess what has the different, learning experiences been in these different countries?
So I was just looking forward to have a different perspective, or like to get a different idea. Because you try to study in your own comfort zone, or let's say in your own country, you might think everything is the same across board, right? But I always knew there was something different, like to what I'm studying, or maybe something advanced. So I tried to take an adventure. So for me, it was an adventure, right?
It was an adventure, yeah.
Because I love to travel to see other countries. So I was like, okay, it's going to be a very good opportunity for me to travel and study at the same time. So then I'm doing both at the same time. And in Ghana, it's of information, like you get to know the background, you get a lot of information about what you're studying. But the challenge I feel, or I think, is you don't really get the understanding, but you get to know, what you're doing, but you don't know the reason behind it. I got to know that when I was studying in Italy. So in Italy, they give you more of the background. So you get to know the reason why you're doing what you're doing, right? But there is a less practical approach to that. So most of the practical things you do is being supervised, and you get very least chance to be in the lab to try new stuff. Yeah. So I try to search for other places which could give me both combinations. That is getting the know-how and getting the technical skills, right, and getting the information as well. So that was when I decided to come to Canada, and it was mind-blowing. I now understand why people say Canada has the best education people in the world.
Okay.
It makes sense. Yeah. So here I had the experience with both. I had the knowledge, and you get to hands-on. You get a real experience, and that is what, when you're done with your program, that is all what it's about. So it's not all about what you know, but what you can also do. That is a skill. That is the most important thing to help save people's life.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you become much more well-rounded that way, that you have both technical and practical knowledge.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Were there any other differences in kind of like the learning environment between all these different countries?
In Ghana, we kind of have like a structure which everybody has to follow, right? So let's say you don't get to choose. So like everything is kind of programmed and you have to just follow it, right? So everybody in the same class has the same graduation date. So if you fail your course, one of the courses, that's when you're unable to graduate, right? But in Italy, you have like the students who professional ratio is very small, and that is a very good thing. And you get to choose when you want to take your exam. So let's say in the middle of the semester, and you feel all the syllables, you could just go to your professor and you take your exam. And the exam is mostly orals. So you have to do one presentation, some marks for that. You get marks for attendance, and you get to do the orals. So you get to be asked random questions in the semester. So you could be done with your program, like maybe like let's say the course, you could be done maybe halfway the semester. Yeah, which is something. Yeah, and if you fail, you have like 3 chances to do that, to take that or like oral exams. And if you're unable to pass all the 3, then you have to just finish up the whole semester. Yeah. So comparing to Canada, you get to choose your courses, or let's say your electives, based on your risk. So which I find that is very interesting, because you don't have to study things you don't have to study.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you specialize in a particular area, you look for the components, you look for the courses which are relevant to your research area, and you have to study that. So what I found, that was an interesting thing when I came here in Canada. Yeah. And I think it really helped much. Yeah.
So your sister helped kind of encourage you to get into kind of the medical kind of field. What are some of the steps that you have to take when entering a field of STEM?
So I'm like kind of from a health sector, like I have a medical health sector background, because my mom is also a midwife, and my dad is also a midwife, and my dad is a biostatistician in a hospital. So I grew up in a hospital, right? So everyone around me was in the medical field, and I was trying. So I think you have to be disciplined. That is the first and most thing. You have to be disciplined, and you got to have the passion, because it's very demanding. So if you are not, you don't have the passion, I don't know how you're going to cope with it. And because that helps to get the patience and help you to, that is going to be the motivation for you to help other people in the field. Yeah, so I'm just going to talk about like passion and being disciplined. Yeah,
discipline. So it's like being in that right mindset that like, okay, this is going to be a lot of information to consume. I got to be focused and do the steps so that I can retain that information.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So, after achieving degrees and studies in different countries, did you find it difficult to, kind of transition here in Canada, or was it just, simple?
It's quite difficult, because like every country have like regulations, so they kind of regulate their profession to keep up to the highest standard. So so it's not like kind of, let's say, a disrespect to other countries' education system, but believe in their own education system. So for you to be part of their profession, then you have to go through a process, right? And that process is a quite challenging, because you go to a lot of process and like a lot of screens, and when they have to check your background, your syllabus, if you have the same curriculum as we have in Canada here, and If they deem it that you are eligible, that is when you could write the license exams. And if you are able to pass through the license exams, then you get to practice in the profession in which you belong to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this process can be streamlined or become more efficient, or what are your thoughts there?
Oh, I think they could about the process because it's lengthy. That is how I feel, and it's making Canada lose a lot of professionals to other professions. Yeah, because I know there are a lot of health professionals who come to Canada like with high aims, but they come and like with the process and with the amount involved, they just quit and they try to do something else to survive. So that is when the passion kicks in. So if you still don't have the passion, then you're just gonna lose focus and you're just gonna find a different profession to enter into, which I feel it's hurting the Canadian professional system.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate because there's so many talented people out there, and it's like, yeah, they just went through all the schooling in their home country. They're like, well, now I want to move here, and now they're like, well, you got to do it all over again. You're like, come on, man, come on. Yeah. So I guess just more into STEM. Just now that you've studied and you're working in it, just what kind of like attracts you to it?
Oh, that is a big one. So I just love the sense of like the understanding I'm getting from STEM. So that is what is pushing me because I love knowledge. So I always want to know. Mm-hmm. I always want to know what is up, what is the new stuff, and because that is what I'm living in. It's all about me and my environment. Yeah. So that is the key thing, which is keeping me going. Yeah.
Ah, that's awesome. Is there been a particular study or class that you've just completely enjoyed, and then maybe in the reverse, one that you're like, oh, I can't stand this at all?
Yeah. So there was one where back in my country, Ghana, people used to like when you have kids or when they deliver, mm-hmm. The babies die. We attribute those to like the black magic stuff. So we feel like there's a external force which is making the babies die. So, and some people even when they get married, they cannot even have babies. Sometimes when they give birth, the baby dies. So that is what we call stillbirth. So I had a course in class and we studied this, and that was through a disorder that we called erythroblastosis fetalis. That is also called hemolytic disease in the newborn. So that is like just conflicting about the blood groups. Okay, so it's all about the Rh blood system, and so when someone is having Rh positive, that is the resource factor, and the other person is not having the resource factor. So mostly it happens to the women who don't have the resource factor. So that is their resource negative. So anybody who is like any woman who is A negative, B negative, O negative, or AB negative, if they get married to a man who is any of the blood groups positive, and they give birth, the child is going to be probably, if the child is going to be also a resource positive, mm-hmm. then it means that the baby is having something the mom is not having. So the mother is going to see the baby as a foreign body. So the mother's immune system are trying to attack the baby because they think it's kind of like a virus or a bacteria or something. So they want to fight against it. So because it's the first time, the baby is going to come out safe because the mom's body doesn't really know what that foreign body is. So now the mom's body has produced antibodies against those resource factors, that's of the baby. So now the mom is having the antibodies. Yeah. So when baby, then they know, okay, this guy is here again. That is the resource factor. is here again. So they come in and attack the baby, and the baby gets died, or baby dies.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that is happening. So it made me understand. So if you had like an early abortion, like during your early stages, then means when you get married, you will not be able to give birth because of what happened. So you have to get like some medications or some shots to prevent that to be caused, so you can have your baby delivered safely. Yeah. So like it was mind blowing for me to understand this phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
And not attributing it. Yeah.
Well, it's like when you don't understand, the mechanics of the world, it can be, terrifying or even like magical, but like once you start breaking it apart and like finding out the mechanics and rules, you're like, oh, okay, so this was caused because of this and this and this.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to kind of learn about how things work.
Yeah.
So,
how things work here.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned breast. Excuse me. I got some phlegm in my throat.
Sorry.
You mentioned you had an interest in studying breast cancer. Why is that?
That is quite unfortunate. My grandmother died of breast cancer, so I thought because it really hurt me, and it brought me. I got depressed. Mm-hmm. So what can I do to help others? Because it's killing a lot of people's loved ones and it's taking their happiness away. So if I could help find a cure, or if I could contribute in a way that is going to help other people, then I'm going to do it. So I decided to take that part.
Oh, that's nice. Kind of creating a legacy for her.
Yeah.
All right. So once you're done school, what are you kind of hoping to focus on and do as a career?
I'm still thinking about it. So yeah, because like as you go like to study further, you get a whole lot of ideas and you don't know which one to pick up from. Yeah. So I'm kind of in that state now. So I'm still thinking. Yeah. But it's the main aim is just to help humanity. So it should be something good. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's really cool to hear about individuals like yourself who are, wanting to make a difference here in the world.
Yeah. We just do the little and see how it's going to impact the world.
Mm-hmm. So for others who are wanting to get into like studying the sciences and just STEM, what advice would you have for them? Or for specifically individuals who are, studying abroad and wanting to move here to Canada?
This is very interesting, and it depends wherever you're coming from. But I would say the best place now to do STEM is in Canada because it's having a whole lot of opportunities for young people, and you just have to get your credentials being checked by the World Education Services, and you have to check for research opportunities or like research grants that we have from different universities, because there are a lot of professors or like supervisors who are looking for people who have talent or who have the skill to help them in their research field. So you have to look for them, right? Because they cannot come to you. So you have to show them what you got. Mm-hmm. You have to go and you try and talk to them to see if you are the best fit for their research group. Because mostly the research, you have a lot of team members and each one of them playing a specific role. So you just have to fit in a particular role which is going to help the whole team to achieve a common objective. So you have to constantly check in online and looking for university professors. Yeah, hectic, but it's worth it because nothing good comes easy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta get into that grind.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Maybe something that you're studying or have seen maybe in papers that you're kind of passionate or interested about? Maybe new studies or research developments?
Because I'm still on my research, so I don't think I could talk much about my research now. So maybe
maybe one day, yeah.
maybe one day, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, but is there maybe any other research or studies that you've just been kind of keeping a close eye on that maybe think are promising or just are interesting?
Maybe probably something in forensics.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, probably something in forensics. Yeah. So.
Oh, well, what's kind of interesting there? Well, why are you keeping your eye on that?
It's all about like investigating, right? So trying to understand, trying to solve like mysteries or like puzzle. Like I enjoy doing that. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a puzzle problem solver.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I enjoy doing it, so I just have to in kind of like a professional way. Yeah.
If you have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight, leave a comment on our social media or reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was U Talk, and have yourself a good one.